What is up, the world of the living? My name is LyXP and welcome back to Truly Bedrock. Friends, we are on top, we were on top of TNC Cuban's house, assembled by Killer Drone and terramorphed around it by Jesse B, which for the next couple of episodes we will be referring to as the direct competition. Because, my friends, in the last video we planned out one particular project that I've been tasked with, and that is the Truly Bedrock Cathedral, to be put around here, right by the graveyard, for which I asked you people to suggest your own gravestones, and you did deliver, so I will probably be burying one of my subscribers in here by the end of the video. Yep, this is what my life has become. But for now, feel free to leave your own comments and suggestions as to who and how to bury. And for now, I'll be focusing on the Cathedral project for which I have already started assembling quite a bit of material. Now, you can already tell probably that I am taking a page out of the book of the Jesse and out of the Killer, who used the gray concrete and gray, concrete powder, gray wool to create a very interesting contrast on the build itself. The build they created is actually quite interesting in that it uses contrast more than it uses basically anything else. Most of this is still very gray and very stone gray at that, but then there are blotches of red which are very much unlike the blotches of red that I use in my builds. You see, when I use red in my builds, you get flipping, what's its name? The Moonfall town, which has red all over it. Red is the leitmotif, red is the background. Here, they're using it as a little bit of contrast here and there. And we will try to go for that in a way, but also mostly focusing on the contrast of the dark brown, dark gray, and the blah 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 blah. The default grayish of the stone. The vomit gray of the stone, let's put it that way. So, this purple area right here is how much space we got to use. This is something that all of the Truly Bedrock has agreed on, and I have already started out planning this build in a creative copy of the world, to which we will switch in just a moment and see what I have in store and what I have, planned out. This here is the creative copy of the world of Truly Bedrock. This is my single player, this is not me going into creative on the actual server, don't worry. But it is saved on my thing. This world is saved on my hard drive as Truly Bedrock Season 1, but sexy. So, you get the point. That is because I usually apply some sort of resource pack to this world, because going to sketch anything in it, because that's just more fun, okay? Today we're sketching something very important though, so I will not be doing that. And that important thing is this here. This is not the cathedral itself. This is but one wing of it. Now, with churches and cathedrals in Minecraft, I actually follow one specific rule, and that is to never build them. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have built cathedrals in Minecraft before, and they looked pretty flippin' awesome. And please ignore that they were also supposed to be a cult. So, with the cathedrals in Minecraft as a standalone build and not as a wing of a giant base, I have generally a rule that I follow, which I like to call a Cheburashka rule. Now, Cheburashka is a Russian cartoon character, book character. It was a book before it was a cartoon, and it is essentially a character with giant ears and tiny body. So, if you would silhouette a Cheburashka on the ground, he would look something like yeah, something like that, essentially. Maybe we'll give him a little bit more of a crotch area. But yeah, this is how a Cheburashka outlined on the ground will look. And what we have here is essentially the crotch of the Cheburashka. No, not really. This wing of the cathedral is the area I would basically create to make this part, the body of him. Then I would take another wing like this, put it sideways to it, put it sideways to it, and connect the entire area in the middle with something I want to call the moon window, which would be like, a more of a circular type of deal, though maybe not, because we're kind of going for the gothic aesthetic. Now, to test the color scheme that I already announced to you, this is what it's gonna look like. And this segment right here amounts pretty much to 2 blocks, to 1 and 2. But you will notice that Cheburashka here has some legs to him. And not some legs, but like leg, leg, arm, arm. And that also will come into play. Because if we just create a giant cross made out of a building, that won't look as good as if we give it a tiny bit of a intersection. So I'm guessing at this point here, we might do either another wing, another very miniature wing going this way, or alternatively, we could do a wing like this, basically making a miniature version of this one, or do something from, heck, even the Cathedral of Notre Dame, and continue these support pillars outside of the actual pillar. So outside of the actual building, going this, basically creating another one of those, and continuing clearly copying this design onto every single other support pillar available on the building. I don't know which one I'm gonna go for. I really like these little, adjacent support pillars, even though I have literally no reason why I would like them. And yeah, I just think they need. I just think they look very gothic, and I like gothic stuff, if you haven't figured out yet. Yeah, between the subscriber cemetery and this being basically more of a crematorium rather than a church, you guys ever get the impression that I'm kind of a horribly morbid person? Just asking. You may notice that I'm very explainy in this episode, and that I also am incredibly excited. And that is because generally, cathedrals and like anything ambitious and big and beautiful in Minecraft or ever is a little bit of a hiccuping spot for a lot of people. Thing is, 1, 2, 3, 4. That architecture, 1, 2, 3, 4, ultimately comes down to 1, 2, 3, 4 patterns, right? And the thing about patterns is that they are actually pretty simple. You just have to repeat them over and over until you die. No, actually, no. You have to just repeat them over and over until they're recognizable, until your brain goes, huh, that's complex. That's nice. That's nicely looking. And that's when the pattern actually comes together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom. And the reason I'm incredibly excited for this build is because it demonstrates that exact border in Minecraft between, oh, this is looking nice, and oh, this is looking simple. This is the first time ever I built a cathedral specifically in Minecraft. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually looked at it and thought, huh, this was actually pretty simple. This was actually pretty easy. So I'm willing and now wanting to share this recipe with you guys, because I feel like you guys could 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, really get a kick out of this. Even if you are a much more skilled builder than I am, I think it's not that you could probably learned something, but you could at least check it out and like repeat a little bit of the most basic buildy stuff. So here's the situation. We're going 4 in between pillars. We're going 4 before the first intersection. We're going 3 before the second. And we're going 2 before the third. But the third intersection is actually very interesting also, because the third one is not the roof yet. The roof itself will be made out of upside down stairs, done with stone bricks on a stone cutter, which I clearly did not take with me because I'm just that good at Minecraft forever. Now, my one remorse here is that I didn't try and make the ornamentum out of something, you know, seamless, something that doesn't tile, or that does tile, you know, depending on how you consider my phrasing. And instead, you know, opted out for the much more usual fare of the stone brick. But that's once again where the patterns comes up, because patterns is something stone brick is really good at. It has a very distinct one. So 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom, and then what we do is we just stairs, lots of them, and yeah, this still is gonna be continued. But then we go, aha! And we do this, and we do this. And that's why there's 4 in the middle. That's why there's exactly 4 between all of the pillars. And then we go down, and we look at it. And hey, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It looks ornate in that it is an ornament, right? It has a bit of a pattern to it, which is all that we're really trying to accomplish here. And now all I have to do, thank you pickaxe, is repeat this pattern here, here, here. Look at what I have accomplished. Maybe add some additional decorum, and see if I want to continue this on the sideways legs of the Cheburashka. We'll see how it pans out. For now, I have my work cut out in front of me. This is simple, but it's not easy, alright? So, give me a little bit of time. Now, what I'm about to do will make basically no sense from actual building standpoint. People don't do this in general in real life. But what we're trying to do here is, now we want to plan out the kind of roof that we'll be having, and that will actually be key, because to me personally, until I saw the roof that I wanted to do here, I really wasn't feeling this build, but then it really came together. So, before we do, more stone brick stairs! Thank you. That is not nearly enough, but whatever. And, that was my final rocket. That was not a smart decision. Alright, drop down, and here's what we're trying to do. What I want to do here is I want to plan out the general layout of the roof. So I am doing precisely that. Just planning out 1 and 2, and we are using full blocks. What's up with that, right? Well, the reason I'm using full blocks is because we will be using non-full blocks, thank you so much for that, on the decorations tidying the room together. Basically, not the roof, the roof. The roof is on fire. We will be tying it together using the stone stairs in a very peculiar way. Because for one, we will be doing this on every single bump like this on the decorations. For 2, we'll be taking the stone brick stairs and doing this at every cornerstone like that. And for 3, we'll be doing 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that here will be the middle. And at the middle, we are about to and create the middle stone that will go this way. And clearly, you can tell already that these stairs, these stone stairs, will all lead to this middle bit, because the entire roof is gonna lead to this middle bit. But then, to to continue the leitmotif of these cornerstones, we'll be adding another cornerstone up here, and up here, and putting, of course, walls, sometimes double walls, sometimes single walls, on them to create an illusion of that bizarre spiky decorations that everyone keeps putting on Gothic builds. That is actually something that just makes me instantly recognize them as mildly Gothic. And that is the best part, honestly. That is my favorite part. They have literally no reason except to maybe dispense Wi-Fi, which I highly doubt that was a thing in medieval France. But, you know, why not? They can dispense Wi-Fi over True Bedrock. We really have several members that could use some extra internet. Okay, this looks incredibly plain for now. And for now, that is kind of enough for me. I'm quite happy with it looking pretty plain. My bigger problem, my bigger concern right now is that it is also basically the opposite of spawn-proof. You know, not spawn-proof. So I think what I could do to kind of sweeten the deal, to kind of help this along the way, is hide torches behind these stairs. Because stairs on Bedrock, once again, are transparent. They're basically glass. So this will actually work. And because the stair supports are actually 4 blocks apart, this is plenty of light. This is plenty of light for the entire thing to be fairly lit up, to be fairly safe for everyone, and especially for me. But what am I going to do about these plain walls? Now the contrast, you can already tell, is working out. The contrast is there, but now we need to add some level of detailing. And what I wanted to do, which I'm pretty sure you saw already in the wall that I've been showing you in the creative one, is clean out these areas here out of gray concrete and basically fill them back in with dark oak. Now, do I have any logical reason to do that? Not exactly. Like, logically speaking, there's no reason as to why these are done out of this particular material, the same material that we're using on the roof. But non-logically speaking, it's contrast. It is something for your eye to grab onto, and if we walk far away enough, yeah, it's there. You can kind of tell. You can kind of get your eye caught on it. Again, I hate that your eye also instantly will recognize it as the same material the roof is made out of. Potentially, we could go for the same, additional red in the wall that Killer Drone applied here. But I wouldn't want to make it one more red build because, you know, red and black and green and gray is my color scheme for the season. So I wouldn't want to implement it here, especially because this is supposed to be a community area. And I haven't prepared any of the blue, like light blue colors that I wanted to utilize in the branding of the cathedral, because light blue and white are essentially the moon colors, and that was supposed to be the logic behind this. So I guess this will require another quick trip to the shopping area. Nope. Or maybe not. So I kind of messed around with different materials, and I like what the smooth sandstone is doing to this build. It feels very fitting. It is a very bony and very like bright kind of texture that breaks up the monotone gray and the other monotone gray really well, while also being yellow, which is not a complementary color, but the other one. Yeah, it is a similar color to the browns, so they do go together rather well. Also, we do have this type of yellow already with the clay over there and the oak over here. So even the even the color scheme of the area already matches also. Plus, it makes that thing look kinda like skulls, which can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. So, that's one side of this done. If only I could find some sucker to do the other one. And so we're nearly done. Look at this. Yep, it's not exactly as ambitious as the, distinctive competition over here. But their house is actually made for an actual player. My thing is a cathedral that has basically no purpose but to, occupy space. And even then, we still can probably expand it and probably will expand it eventually, because in the middle it would make sense to make some sort of a bell tower around here on the crisscross. Now, there are things architecturally that I have to address that I have been adding to make this thing look better. First and foremost, it's these pillars here, which I've been informed are actually known as the flying buttresses, because they are the buttresses which connect to the roof. So yeah, I learned something today. I learned what a flying buttress actually is. I've been using these words as just a one-off joke for ages now. But no, these support pillar over here are purely decorational, clearly, obviously, and they make it look much more nicer. Like, look at it from the bird's eye view, closing in. They are adding exactly that bony, gothic-y, cathedral-y look, and that is what we're going for. That's what we've been trying to accomplish. So I absolutely love them, and I want more of them, but I can't fit more of them because we run out of the house, basically. Now, in the meantime, I also created two faces for the entrances. So there's one here, and there's one there, and you will notice that they are A, different, and B, they are not the same as the entrance over here, right? And there might be a reason for it. Now, I could clearly, easily, just easily do another entrance over here. Just build up a wall, put up a door, tada, done, dusted, spit and scratch a little bit. But I got a better idea, well, a worse idea actually. And that worse idea is illustrated over here in, once again, my creative single player, because I had a hunch I will not be able to pull it off. So, this here is my idea. And this is where you go instantly just, Lloyd, that looks just absolutely flipping awful. This is horrid. Lloyd, what were you thinking? And what I was thinking is, how do I make a stained glass window in Minecraft? And the answer is with literally anything but this actual stained glass. This here is supposed to be a stained window of a zombie pigman. Well, of a piglin, whatever, doesn't matter. Staring at you from a wall, being very detailed and very decorative. And that's the thing about the Minecraft stained glass. You will need quite a sizable scale for it to start looking like it's a mosaic. And we only have 7 blocks to go around. We only have 7 blocks wide to do anything with. So that's why I decided, what if we do and pulled out the glazed terracotta. And guys, I'm calling a channel meeting. I'm calling a channel conference. We need to decide together on this, because I cannot overrule. I cannot veto this one. I am pretty sure that this is actually looking pretty interesting, because the glazed terracotta texture adds that detailness and edginess and that fractalness to the idea of it being a stained window, right? It is pretty bright, so it will stand out from the gray and gray color scheme. But that also is pretty great. And what I was thinking is I will to create not even one, but maybe two of these type of windows. So let me know what you think. I personally am absolutely in love with this one, though the zombie pigment one does look kind of silly. Before, my other try was to create a little bit of a villager kind of standing right there, so that would be the face. Well, maybe a little bit variation. But that's the thing. The actual texture of the terracotta, I don't care how it connects. I don't care how it connects, how it doesn't connect. This entire thing, its entire point is to look like it's breaking apart, like it's broken down, like it's a mosaic assembled out of tiny pieces of glass. Meanwhile, we're trying to get it to look at the same time very broken, but very cohesive. And that's what I feel the terracotta is kind of working out for. I mean, look at this. You can tell what I'm going for, right? Especially with the two squares here kind of serving a size. But you can tell what I'm going for. And also, if we just contextualize it a little bit with the, with the blue and the background and whatnot, it does work like a magic eye picture in a way, right? If you just squint right enough, you'll notice that, yeah, this does look a little bit like what he's trying to convey here, right? But no. I will need a channel meeting, channel vote, channel decision. Let me know in the comments. I'm not putting up a poll because polls are inaccurate and also easily hijacked. So this is what we have here, and this on this side is an alternative to that. And I want both of them maybe somewhere in the cathedral. And I think that if we just continue this all the way up to the actual ceiling of the cathedral, it will look imposing and impressive enough. Even though it is kind of silly. Like, I am not denying that. So that's why there is a wall missing. That's why I haven't finished the build on the True Bedrock. And also that's why I won't be probably doing anything with the interiors. First, I want to implement the stained window, and then I'll just probably hire somebody else, because frankly, I never actually been to a cathedral. I barely been to a church, so I have no idea what they're like. And also, the one I've been to are not the Catholic one, like not the Catholic ones. They are Russian churches, and they have entirely a different interior and entirely a different leitmotif and everything. So I guess that would be as good of time as any to go and bury our first subscriber, wouldn't it? Our first gravestone came from a subscriber called Happy Money, and the grave thing, the engraver, the sign I'm gonna post on it, says, "He lies Happy Money. Best before in that date." Yeah, the way they phrase it is he lies in that name, best before in that date, but it is the best before that actually absolutely broke me when I was reading my comment section. So, congratulations, thank you so much for submitting it. And guys, everyone, please, I beg of you, do leave a comment, do let me know if you have any sort of jokes on this particular idea. I have an entire graveyard to fill in. I don't think there will be a shortage of graves, so I will at least try to bury one per episode, or maybe even more. So that's gonna be it for today. So thank you everyone so much for watching. We have completed the cathedral in one episode. This never happened to me. This is a build and it doesn't really look horrible. What is going on, right? What is going on? So that's gonna be it for today. So thank you everyone so much for watching. This has been SlackLizard. This has been Truly Bedrock. To be continued. Have a good one. Bye bye.